I am John Martinson, the founder of Robolinux. Welcome to the Robolinux Windows XP and 7 C drive to VM demonstration video. In just a few minutes, you can easily move your existing Windows C drive with all your software programs and data into any Linux operating system, all 500 of them, so you don't have to reinstall Windows or its updates and all your software applications again. What I'm going to show you will save you at least 8 hours of time. Here is the question for you today. If this sounds like something you want to do, would you be willing to donate a small fee to Robolinux tech support so you can save a whopping 8 hours or more of your time lost reinstalling Windows and all of your many software programs, not to mention fumbling around looking for them? If you said yes to that question, Robolinux is ready and more than able to help you make that happen today. In this video, I am going to demonstrate for you just how easy it is to successfully move your Windows C drive, whether it be XP or 7, into Linux, all 500 different Linux operating systems, in just a few minutes. Your time will vary depending on how large your disk drive is and how fast your PC runs. But at the end of the day, what's really great is you don't have to reinstall Windows or your software, which you know is extremely time consuming. Hey, check this out. You didn't know this, but actually this free Drive C to VM software I'm going to be using creates a clone, which guess what? That's right. It gives you a complete backup of your Windows C drive automatically. Is that cool or what? Hey, it gets even better. The Windows VM file you are about to watch me create from a free download can be run on any PC or laptop you want that's running Linux with the Robolinux Stealth VM software installed on it. In this video, you'll see how today's Robolinux Stealth VM software version has the only necessary software to convert a raw VHDX VM file into a compatible, highly portable, and flexible VDI file that allows you to easily expand your Windows VM's disk size or optimize and compress it whenever you want to. The disk to VM software, it's great and it's free, but it doesn't finish the job all the way. This is why we created the Robolinux Drive C to VM tech support package, and we rewrote the entire Robolinux Stealth VM software so it works for you. Half measures don't cut it in my world or yours. So if your hard drive crashes or your PC dies or you want to upgrade your PC or laptop, or perhaps you want to buy a new super fast, very affordable SSD drive, you can do this very quickly right now. And you can move your C drive onto a new hard drive or even a new PC or laptop whenever you want to, effortlessly. And don't forget, the Robolinux courteous tech support team is standing by to make certain that your questions are answered and you are successful. Believe me, I have the experience to know that you will send tech support emails asking us to be very quick and answer your unique questions about things you want to know how to do. That's not your fault. This isn't difficult to do, but it's a new experience and you need guidance so things go smoothly for you. Your very reasonable small donation for this tech support package is what it takes in order to pay for tech support personnel to assist you in a timely fashion. Believe me, there is no way for any open source software company, or any company for that matter, anywhere in the world, to be able to hire a professional tech support rep who works for free. They simply don't exist in any country, and even though I care very much about all the Robolinux users, that includes all of you who are watching this video right now, I am only one man, and I do not have the power to provide thousands of people with free tech support every day. This is the truth. People, please listen to what I'm about to tell you. I'm going to show you what thousands upon thousands of XP or 7 users have been begging Robolinux to provide them because their Windows XP or 7 OEM restore disks cannot be installed into a virtual machine, or they lost their Windows disks or software program disks. These people need the Robolinux Drive C to VM tech support package now. That's right, they are stuck in the mud. And they can't create a Windows XP or 7 VM even though they want to. It's a downright bummer. It's sad. Worse, most users don't even get OEM Windows restored disks when they buy their PCs or laptops. So this may be the only solution for them. In fact, it is. The other scenario is about 5 to 10% of Windows users who built their own PCs or upgraded to Windows XP or 7 years ago by paying Microsoft a lot of money for a retail copy of XP or 7. Wait till you hear this. These PC users have already paid around $100 or even as much as $500 for Windows 7 Ultimate. But over the years, most of these install keys, due to hard drive failures or viruses that blew up their PCs or laptops, those keys are gone. They have no more, they can't install Windows again. It is a fact that the majority of Windows XP users are flatly refusing to throw away their machines and the software they paid thousands of dollars for and be forced to upgrade to Windows 8 and pay again for more hardware and software they already own, which works just fine. But the problem is they need to be able to run XP in an environment where they're not going to get a virus. And that's the solution that Robolinux Stealth VM software provides. So, you can keep using XP as long as you want to until that day comes when there's a Linux version. We're already seeing Microsoft producing, iPad versions of Office. It's on its way, and someday you'll be able to escape the Windows XP inside your VM. You'll see. Am I spot on? Okay. So let's get started with this Drive C to VM demo right now. Since this is an overview and not a tutorial, I'm not going to talk very much about each step. The point of this video is to show you proof that it really does work and takes very little time to accomplish, and it's really worth your time. I'm going to move swiftly, but don't worry about that, because the Robolinux Drive C to VM tech support package provides you with, get this, 3 easy to understand short videos that we converted into a WMV Windows compatible format. That's the Windows Media Video format that plays on every Windows machine. We did this specifically for the benefit of Windows XP users all over the world who really, believe me, they don't want to go online and watch videos at the risk of getting hacked or infected by a virus after XP has already expired, which was April 8th, 2014. So we're catering to these XP users and helping them so they can make this transition without actually, losing their XP in the process. So the 3 short but easy tutorial videos you will get with your Robolinux Drive C to VM tech support package will allow you to pause each video at any time, plus use the included cheat sheet image files. These are like JPEG files you can click on and they show you the cheat sheets, and you can load them so that it makes it a snap to click the correct dialog boxes and buttons that you'll see me be clicking here pretty quickly. For the disk resizer and hard drive to VM converter software that of course is free. So sit back and enjoy the ride watching me resize and convert and install not just Windows XP but also Windows 7 into a Linux operating system in real time. I'm only going to pause the video when it's really necessary so I can save you time, and also when I switch from the XP machine to the Windows 7 machine. I'm not going to be using a regular slow external disk drive to copy the converted raw VHDX files. These are the ones you can't use in VirtualBox. And once you get them onto your C drive, onto your Linux partition drive, then of course Robolinux will do the magic to convert them into VDI files. And I'm really big on saving people time, so that's pretty much why I'm going to be pausing once in a while. Keep in mind that I'm using the Robolinux OS for this demonstration, which I wrote, and I'm comfortable with it, of course, but I could have been using any of the other 500 awesome Linux operating systems that the Robolinux Stealth VM software supports right now, such as all 6 of the fine Linux Mint editions, the hundreds of Ubuntu versions and variants, such as Zorin, Ultimate, or dozens of very cool Debian versions like Steam for Linux, Kali, Crunchbang, and also hundreds of RPM versions like OpenSuse, Magaya, which is a fork of Mandriva, Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora, and many Linux distros you can download for free today. Hey, I recommend you visit distrowatch.com to see the list for yourself, and you can put the fun back into computing. I just love saying that slogan because you know what? It's really true. Okay, so here goes. As you can see, Windows XP is already loaded and ready for action. And so I'm going to get started right now. The first thing you want to do is you go to your Start menu, go up to your My Computer and check your hard drive, because there is a limitation. Your hard drive has to be smaller than 127 gigabytes, or it has to be equal to that. In my case, I'm fortunate because my total size, as you can see, is only 98.9. But many of you are going to have larger drives, okay? And we explain this so carefully and so clearly in our videos, so don't worry about memorizing any of this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do a resize. Oh, by the way, look at all these programs I've got. Keep your eyes on those. And the reason that you want to keep your eyes on those is so you can see that when I actually create this drive C into a VM, it is in fact exactly what you're seeing here. So it really is a clone, and this is not a fabrication. So you see Word, you see Excel, Thunderbird, you see we're running Google Chrome. Okay, all these programs are going to be, everything's going to be the same when we copy that clone and reinstall it with the Robolinux Stealth VM software. So here we go. We're going to do a resize. Oh, just show you some documents here. Here I've got some pictures, and let's see, I've got some music, some of my favorite Christian music, and let's see here, I've got a video. Okay, and so you can, and I'll show you those when we go through the process when we've actually moved this drive C to a new Linux operating system. So we're going to take this free software which comes with your Robolinux Drive C to VM support, tech support package, and we're going, this is very easy to do. You just click your NTFS and go here and do a resize, and in here you would just go and set that to what is below that 127 threshold, 127 gig threshold. Keep in mind, one of the beautiful things about what we're doing here, after we've converted this raw VHDX file, which you can't do anything with, you can't resize it, you can't compress it, you can't do, in fact you can't even run it, but Robolinux converts it to a VDI so that you can then re-extend, or if you will, increase the size of your Windows XP or 7 back again. And of course you can do all kinds of other things as well with that VDI format. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to reduce this one to 50 gigs, and just like this. And we're going to be seeing the computer going through all kinds of reboots and stuff, but you just sit back and relax and just let it take place. You don't have to do anything once you will have to click like reboot and reboot and reboot, and you know how Windows does reboots all the time. Linux doesn't do that unless you have a new kernel, and you'll be experiencing that if you haven't already with Linux. So anyway, the good news here is all this stuff is automatic. So take a sip on your coffee, or whatever you want to do. It doesn't take very long. And what we've done is we've handpicked the finest freeware programs, and we've tested them over and over and over again, and we've made sure that they work, okay, for your benefit, so you don't have issues. And we're just about, we could actually have pressed a key to reboot. Here we go. And it's rebooting. And as you can see, I'm doing all of this inside a virtual machine, and really that was the only way I could actually demonstrate this, because we don't have the $100,000 HD professional Hollywood studio video cameras to do this stuff sort of looking at a PC or a laptop. But this is the same, and you'll see here you do have to click finish because it found new hardware, and it's going to ask us to reboot here in a second. Okay, it found the new hardware, it wants to reboot. There we go. Okay, so we're done with the resizing. That's easy. If you have questions, of course, we're standing by. We got tech support people that we're going to pay to actually answer your questions, and thanks to your support. Okay, so we'll wait for XP to settle down a little bit here, and it looks pretty settled. And that is when it's time for us to actually copy the whole C drive into a raw file that then will go into the downloads folder of your flavor of Linux, and then you'll take your Robolinux Stealth VM software and click an XP VM installer or a Windows 7 VM installer, and you'll see this this amazing conversion that happens on the fly in a few minutes. This is our first conversion. We're going to actually take a copy of this, and again, don't worry about memorizing any of these buttons here, because we're going to have all that for you in the videos, and you'll have your cheat sheets, and of course you'll have us to help you. And we want to make sure that's all correct. It's looking pretty good. Okay, ready to create. This won't take too long, and again, your experience is going to vary depending upon how fast your machine is, how big your hard drive is. But of course you will have shrunk it down. Now keep in mind, before you shrink a drive, you need to get the data off of it. Don't just go shrinking a drive and lose your data. Move your big files, movies, photos, and check it before you go through this process. Again, that's why you need the videos. That's why you need our tech support people to help you. So if you did make a mistake, don't worry. We're here. We're going to help you. We've been through this with many, many, many users already, and we know what kind of questions are coming. So we've got the experience to make you successful. That's done. Okay, so now it's time. We're actually just going to shut down this XP because we've got a copy of it, and that copy allows us to move it to any machine we want to. So if for example, if you had a backup, which I hope you're going to make, of your VM file, if you lost your PC or it broke or whatever, you could just still move your XP to any machine. So there, now we're going to go ahead and load Windows 7, and I'm not going to spend quite so much time in 7 because it's exactly the same process. I'm just going to load it for you so you can see it load and see the programs that are in there and the data that's in there and so on and so forth. So again, this is not a video fabrication. This is the real deal. Here, see, we have Excel and Word, and we got Thunderbird, and Google Chrome is running. Yep. And then we've got our data files in here, and again, here's some documents. Let's see. Okay, we got some documents, and we've got that lovely music in this version of Windows 7. And let's see, I'm going to have some pictures in here. Yep, got my pictures. Okay, so you can see there is data. And the process here, you don't actually need a third-party resizing software because Microsoft in Windows 7 gives it to you in the control panel. Up here you just click there, and then over here you go over here to your disk partitions, and here you click on your NTFS file, right click it, and you can go in and shrink that volume. Okay, and believe me, it works. We've tested it, and so there's no point in me going through that process, and you'll have a video to teach you how to do that with a cheat sheet as well, so you know which dialog boxes to click. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through a conversion process here, and we're converting the C drive into a file, and I'm going to pause the video during that so that I can save you time. And so I'm just checking here before I get started my dialog boxes. You'll have a cheat sheet to look at. Okay, everything's looking good there. Okay, this one's wrong. And I'm going to do something cool. I'm actually going to stick it on the desktop. Got to give it the right name. Okay. Check it again. Looking good. Okay, so once I start creating this, I'm going to pause the video and then come back to you in a moment. Here we go. So we're going to go ahead and start that process, and once you see it moving, that's when I'm going to pause. Okay, I'm back, and what has happened here is when I created the C drive copy of Windows 7, I put it into a Windows 7 folder because they're going to be the same file names, so that now I know this one over here is for XP. So what I'm going to do with that one is I'm just going to cut it from here, and I'm going to move it over to the downloads folder, which is where it needs to be, so that when you click your Robolinux Stealth VM software single-click VM installer, then it can work the file. Okay, so that one. We're going to do XP first. Now, so that you can see this is real, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be removing XP and Windows 7 off of this machine. And the only thing that we are going to have is two files. And the first file is going to be an XP raw VHDX file. And that is a copy of a C drive from Windows XP. And I did forget to mention that you're going to need to use an external drive, some of you, because you won't have enough disk space on your current hard drive. And you still have to move it from, and you should anyway, make a backup of it. Some of you may have to use a cloud service. It could be cheaper than an external drive. That's something to think about. Another thing that you'll be asking our tech support people. So let's start out with, I'm going to remove XP, 7, and I'm going to remove all its files, and then I'm going to remove XP and all its files, and there's no longer going to be any Windows XP or 7 on this machine. There are copies, of course, clones as one files, as I pointed out to you, and we're going to use those to create or to emulate and create the installation of my C drives again. So how we do that, we want to make sure that in the downloads folder it has that file from XP, because we're going to do XP first. Okay, now we can let the Robolinux Stealth VM software do its magic. This could be any Linux operating system, so whichever one is your favorite. Don't worry, the menu structures for Robolinux Stealth VM are the same. So here we're going to pick XP32 because that was a 32-bit XP C drive. Here we go. And there you go. There's the magic. Converting the image from a raw VHDX file you can't use. Okay, it's going to convert it to a very flexible, highly portable VDI file that you can do so many great things with. Again, things that you're going to ask our tech support people. Hey, can you help me compress that, or can you help me increase the size of my XP back to 250 gigs? That kind of stuff. And that's what we're here to do. And that's why this is a support package. But it's very reasonable. So you're actually seeing this in real time, and I don't really have too much to say while this process is taking place. Um, I could pause, and I definitely will during the Windows 7 conversion once it gets started, because that's a much larger file, as you can imagine. Just to give you an example, XP can start out at 3 or 4 gigs, whereas Windows 7 with its updates starts out at about 27 to 30 gigabytes. And that is something to mention, is that when you're doing this stuff, you need to be aware that you should take some time off from your computer while it's doing this stuff automatically, unless you have the interest of watching paint dry or grass grow. So, but the good news is you don't have to be doing anything while it's doing these things. Okay, that one's done now. It's asking me for the memory. I'm going to give it a gig. So I just hit enter. And it's going to take us into the FAQs so if you have any questions about how to operate your virtual machine. Okay. Now, what we want to do is load that XP and show you that in fact we did move the drive C to a new PC or to a new installation. Here we go. And here she goes. And there you are. Now, you'll want to see the proof, and I'm going to show it to you with the files. There they are. Look at this. It even has the converters and the resizing and the documents in Word and Excel and all my software and Google Chrome and Thunderbird. You'll get some dialog boxes. Windows needs to do stuff like that, some housekeeping because it's new. It will do a reboot, which is no big deal. You're used to that. There she is. So it's going to do a reboot. And so this is just a wonderful thing, because people who are now wondering how can I put my Windows and its programs into Linux, which is what they want to do, now they can do it. And here, let's just go to the documents and go to the pictures. That'll be enough to prove to you that in fact we didn't play some kind of a fabrication game on you. And so there you have it. That's XP, and you can move it to any machine you want to. So now we're going to move on to Windows 7, and I'm going to, I guess I'm going to pause because I'm going to shut this machine down, this XP, and then go over and you'll see me start the process of converting that C drive raw VHTX file into a new installation of the same C drive. Okay, I am back, and what I want to show you here is that there is no Windows 7 installed. As you can see, we only have that Windows XP C drive installed so far. What we do know is that we saved that C drive into this Win7 VHDX folder, and what we're going to do is cut that file and go stick it in the downloads folder, which is where Robolinux Stealth VM Systems wants it, so it can do its magic. And we'll shut down VirtualBox now. And now it's time to use the Robolinux Stealth VM Windows 7 64-bit VM installer, because that was a 64-bit version of 7 on a C drive. Here we go. Here we go. There's the magic, converting that raw VHDX file that you can't use in VirtualBox, and converting it into the VDI. This took a lot of work. here at Robolinux, and it's very important because this is going to allow you to do, as I said before, many things. I'm going to pause while it's doing this and come back to you in a moment when it's finished. Okay, so that didn't take too long. It was about 5 minutes, and coming off of a 100 gig drive. Now, Robolinux Stealth VM is asking me how much memory I want to assign to this Windows 7 C drive. So I'm going to I've got quite a bit of memory, and I want to give it 4096. It will work with 2 gigs. It's not going to work real well with 1 gig, but here you go. And guess what? It's installed. It's going to run us to the help screens. We'll shut those off and load VirtualBox. Now, I normally have shortcuts for my Windows XP and 7, but since I was going to delete them, I didn't go through that process. So here, what do we have? Well, we've got XP32. I've already shown you. We grabbed that C drive and we reinstalled everything, and now we have the Windows 7 64-bit Professional, and we're going to go ahead and load that and show you all the data files, show you the proof that in fact this stuff is real. And that is the C drive that you first saw. And if you were to analyze that clone, it would be exactly, and I mean down to the number of bytes. So it's missing nothing. So we go here and take a look at some photos. Okay, yep, there they are. And there's my music, and here's a video of mine that was on my Windows 7. And as you can see, I have all the software, Thunderbird, Excel, everything's there. And that is pretty much all I can show you today. I want to thank you for your very kind support and your time watching this Robolinux video. I hope you have a great day, and may God bless you and your family.